Okay, I hope this is going to be a very short video. Well, short for me, on adding scenario analysis to a corporate model. Now, I've done a lot of this, got a little bit to do, kind of the key part. I think if you really make I've tried to go around and around and around and around on this, but if you make a corporate model, it's good to put everything kind of in a time series. Maybe not, at least today. Put some, history together with some alternative forecasts. Use the index function a lot. Go and work through item by item. Just do some working analysis. This is what I did years ago, and trying to kind of make it too automatic and too only one line, which I've tried to do, really doesn't work so well. So again, this is a case where we took a company forecast. They're all blue numbers from the company, just fixed. It's just a fixed forecast. And all we want to do is make some adjustments and really understand what's in that forecast. So we take that forecast. Now that you notice the company case is in red. And of course an input, no, of course an input is in blue. That's from this generic macros file. And I said it's going to be so short, and I've already babbled on too much. Okay, now in this, and then we make a new forecast. And in our new forecast, we start with a balance sheet, and those green numbers come from this one. So we make a revenue projection, and this revenue projection goes into the forecast. And the next one, we make some kind of cost of goods sold projection, and the cost of goods sold, if I can find it here, we get the what the company said, and they said it's going to go way down here, and we said, I don't know if it's really going to go down that far. So we can make some alternative forecasts and at least have a discussion with the company. And then we put our revenue that was perhaps adjusted, and then compute our new cost of goods sold. Of course, there might be some interrelationships and blah, blah, blah. And then the same thing for selling and administrative and cost after cost. Now, for each cost, I put in, when we put these three things here, I put a drop down box, and we want to be able to change one by one by one. These things, just for a minute, they don't come. This is not tied to this directly. It's indirectly tied. Okay, and that's run by the index function. I should really stop saying "of course" here. Okay, and we just use the index function to put all of our little scenarios in. And why can't I find another one? There's another one. So it's always using the index function. All right, it's using the index function when it's the forecast. So if it's not the forecast, we just take the history. All right, enough of that, I hope. And then in the last video, I showed you how to put these little things in. And I think, one of the things I didn't show you is I ran into I said, no, I want to show the new loans here as another variable. All you have to do is put a little true here. And then it just adds it. You just have to make sure you have enough kind of things down here, and then you use the match function to find the a row number, and oops, I don't know what, okay, and then I use the index function like crazy with the match function. Okay, enough of that. And then you make a little graph, and I put an NA on the graph. So now we show the new loans, and we can show, okay, what happens if we have a little bit of a lower sales forecast? Well, maybe the loans go down. Okay, but maybe the debt EBITDA, what happens to that? That's still at a pretty high level. But now I want to change all of these. and then I might want to change them back, and I want to look at what kind of assumptions there are when I change these and be able to be very kind of flexible with this, be able to either use these little drop down boxes or change the whole stupid case. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I made an index function as usual. I put just these things all had a case number. I don't know why I just did this, and so with this case number we can put a company case, and then we can go to number 2 and put a, a bank case. But I didn't finish because what I want to do is change all of these ones. Now what I did is I'm sorry about that. That was kind of stupid how I just presented that. These are some spark lines. Okay, and what I did here, these are the things that actually drive the scenarios, and I want to connect this to this, and we'll make a little tiny macro that says take this applied scenario, which is a fixed number, and make it equal to this, so we can change the whole scenario. To do that, I'm going to widen this thing and put equal, and let's make a range name. We have to go kind of crazy about range names, and I'm just going to use this, and in the past I've called this scenario. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this down, and then we'll name these ranges. Shift Control F3, and then we'll do the same thing here, except I'll call this applied. We'll go over here and okay, Shift Control F3, and it's not so bad, is it? And then we're just going to make a macro, and we're going to use all these range names. Now what I've been doing these days is I'll put it here. I'll just press F3, paste the list. I think I don't have anything else here that's going to mess it up. And on a few of these, it seems that, well, who cares how they're spelled anymore, because we're going to take these into the macro, and I purposely put the applied and the scenario thing at the end. So let's press alternate and F8. Make a little macro. Whoops. Okay. Why don't I use this workbook, which I think has nothing in it? Come on. And let's make this set applied. And create it. And I don't know why it does it like that. Probably when I do it like this. Excuse me for this thing. Come on. Okay, and I'm not even going to do it like this. Let's see if we can copy all these range names, because the worst thing about this is I always forget how to type everything in. I mean, whatever. There's no way I could ever remember all of this. Okay, and I put range, and I'll put capital expenditure applied, and I didn't do it on purpose, but it worked pretty well because applied has the letter A, and we put this. Okay, of course, and then I'm going to just copy maybe this thing, and let's just do a couple of more of these. Okay. All right, enough of that. Now I just did the whole thing. Okay, obviously, whatever. And then what we want to do is attach this to something, and the something to attach it to would just be a little drop-down box where we define what our code number is upstairs. This little code number here, and when you do that, cannot put these into a drop-down box. So let's go to this one, go here, go to another sheet, back to the sheet, and put it up here. Now, when I do this, uh-oh, I've never seen that, just what I saw just a minute ago. What happened there? Okay, whatever. And then let's put this up here, and let's right-click and assign that macro we just did. And all that will do is, hopefully I didn't do it wrong, when I set the company case, they're all set to 1. And when I set so all I'm really doing is resetting the whole scenarios. And then I hopefully can copy it to our page up here. And in the downside case, our debt to EBITDA stayed at 14, and that's a real problem. In the company case, it was going down nicely. In our bank base case, it's here. Now, I suppose we could put a tornado diagram and do something a little fancier, but I'm not. Right now, if I'm going to put the cooking revenue off. See if that helped. And then we can kind of go one by one. Well, what happens if we had a higher sales growth? That was a big one. Okay. And what happens if we change the cost of goods sold back? Of course, we could do it the other way. Okay. And right now I happen to be on the inventories. And what happens if I change this? Okay, whatever. Okay, so you can see kind of that's the idea of using the range names plus the index function. Maybe it would be good to put a couple more of these things on, and I was thinking, well, how could we automatically have this change when this changes? Baloney, that's enough. Let's stop this video so it's not that long.